We're now going to look at our collection of dies called our Silhouette of the Sea, and the first one we're going to focus on is our clamshell. So you get, excuse me, they're all falling off, you get all of your clamshell dies in there. So I've got a couple of them popped out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a frame, and I'm going to use my magnetic sheet to help me to do this. So I've just laid two of my clamshell dies out. So obviously I've missed a few out to give me that border between. I'm using my magnetic sheet to make sure I've got it centralized, and then I'm putting my white card over the top like that. Let's make sure that's still covered, and then run that through my die cutting machine, and that's going to go just on to my card base. So you've got some beauty. You don't need any charisma for this collection. It's all about your silhouettes, but what you do get is you get your USB with these beautiful, beautiful papers on. So this is what is going to work so well. So look at this. So now I've cut out my clamshell frame. Now, if I didn't use one in the centre, that would be solid. So let's put things together as we go, and I'll show, oh, I did drop one there, and I'll show you how this works. So I've used lots of black. You get some pearlescent black in the paper pack that goes with this collection, or you could just use some regular black if you wanted to, but it is nice to sometimes be using the pearlescent. And what we're going to do is we're going to make our card with a little bit of a shaker card style on the inside. So I've taken that one first, then I've taken this paper from off the USB, which is absolutely gorgeous, and it's just like, you know, if you do all your techniques with like your Yupo and your inks, and you get those little splats on there, this is the sort of thing you're going to achieve, but perfect because it just comes in a paper ready to go. So then I'm going to go in with another layer of black. And again, this one's going to drop down a bit so that we can see some of that beautiful paper behind. Oh, there we go. And that's going to go just there. And then onto there, I've got my white layer. So my white is good. It's nice and clean, and it gives me a perfect sort of canvas to work on. And that's going to go just there, like that. So can you see? So we still can see that border around. Now what we're going to do is I've cut my clamshell out again out of this decorative paper. Look at that, with all those coral and everything, and that's going to go just on there. But before we put that on, we need to have some I've got some acetate. So what I'm going to do is I've put red liner tape on both sides of this acetate. So I can take one side, let's do it on that side first. So let's take this off. Now the bits that I'm going to pop in my shaker card don't actually go inside here, so I don't need to worry about it lining up. The glue being all, the tape being all the way around, sorry, that's what I meant to say, the tape lining up. So I've got my acetate on first with a little bit of red liner. I've got my second set of red liner coming off just here. Let's get rid of that. And then I'm going to pop a little frame on just there. So all I've done is gone down a size with my frames, and that's fit perfectly. Doesn't that look wonderful? So we've just got that edge, but we've also sandwiched that in there. Now this layer, we have made sure we've popped everything in tight so nothing can pop out. And what we're going to do is we're just going to pop some of our little fish in there. And these, let me find the die set for these. These have come from our Swift fish. I think I need a few more. Don't feel like I've got very many just here at the moment. But we've got fish, we've got seahorses. Should we cut a few more out, and I'll show you how easy these are to do. So let's get a piece of black card. And then I've got my Swift die. This is so clever, look at this. So all of these are in a single piece of metal. So we can cut that down. Let's put it on top of our cut tidy. Pop it on top of our die set. Oh look, I've still got my clamshells on there. We don't want to leave those on there. We'll end up cutting them. Pop that on there. Pop that and then through there. So we'll get a few more of those. But before we do that, I want to show you these. So I've cut all 3 of these out. So these are, you've got your coral reef, you've got your ocean floor, and you've got your seabed as well. So these cut out just like this. Don't they look amazing? And they're going to all add to our image. But look at this. So I've got some even more of these little fish. Look at that little shark. What else should we put? Let's do another little. I'm not going to use all of these because some of these are a little bit too big. Because obviously if we use the dolphin, it's a little bit big, isn't it? So just use a couple of those. I've got like, is that stingray? I think it is, isn't it? Absolutely perfect. I love these. Look at the jellyfish. Isn't he lovely? I think those have all come out. We've got some larger seahorses. Oh, and look at this fella. Isn't he gorgeous? Look at the octopus. So much fun. Right, we can pick out how many of those we want to use in a minute. Now, before I put my lid on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get one of these shapes, and I'm going to, let's work out where's the best place. Let's put it just there. So I'm going to just tip those bits onto there for a minute. We can pop that onto there. That works well. Yeah, we can see that. So it's just a case of measuring it and making sure it's visible. So we can pop a little bit of glue just there, and I'm just going to come up a little bit up here. I'm not going to glue right to the top, so it's got a little bit of movement, but we'll just put a little bit on. And then I need a much bigger craft desk, don't I? Then we can pop that onto there. There we go. Pop that down. And then all you do is you turn it over and you follow the outline. Just follow that outline, and then you can cut off all the excess bits. So I'm going to have to, unfortunately, cut that little fish off. Don't worry about the accuracy of your cutting because we're going to pop the frame on the top. So as long as there's no black showing, there we go. How about just like that? So we've now created that coral on the background. So let's find all our little bits that we were going to put on. Oops, I've just dropped them off. We can pop those on there. Let's turn them all the right way to begin with, right side up. Let's get another little seahorse. I think that'll do once we put that one on. Now, if you wanted to, you could add a little bit of glitter or however you wanted to do that. And what we've got now is we've got that frame that we made. Now, this is where it is important that your foam tape doesn't have any gaps. So can you see, this is where my start and end is. I've got absolutely no gaps, not even the smallest little air gap. And that's important. So it stops everything from falling out. Now, can you see? You see how my fish swim around? And that is then going to go on there. But what we could actually do is, if you wanted to, is you could create an image like that if you wanted to. But no, I don't think so. I think we're just going to pop this onto here for now. We can pop that on there. Now, what you could have done before I put the acetate on is you could have put another little bit of coral on there, so you've got depth, but I didn't want it to block out everything that I've got showing. So let's just pop this one onto our card base. If you put too much on, you're actually going to hide everything that's inside your shaker. Now, that could be a shaker card on its own. But what I've also cut out is I've cut out a couple of these mermaids just out of this beautiful backing paper. I'm going to pop that one on that side, I think. Let's put her on that side. And you could also, let's just go, maybe you could have a couple of small fish swimming by just to add a little bit of interest. So it's all about the silhouettes. Like I say, there is no charisma with this collection. You're just building up the images, and this is going to be absolutely fantastic for all those slightly different projects. Again, scrapbook pages are going to look amazing with this. Home decor is going to look brilliant, and then, you know, use it however works best for you. So let's get that. Oh, it's got a little piece of tape stuck to him. See if I can get that tape off. There we go. Pop that one on there. And then on the USB, you've also got some Digi Stamps. So I've used my Digi Stamp. I see it's your birthday, obviously. C being as in ocean sea rather than SEE. And then we can pop that onto the side of our card. So how about that? Something a little bit different, just keeping those colours all really muted. But there, can you see how the fish will swim around in there? I love the clean white lines on there, but the contrast with the dark, with the black, and also that dark blue.